Hey, welcome or welcome back. My name is Jennifer, and here on my channel, I like to chat about all things beauty and makeup. And today I have a ranking of the last 10 palettes I used, including the one that is on my base today. I typically wait and do like monthly palette ranking, and then like sometimes the next month comes and I find that like it takes me a while to get all my filming and all my editing done. And I really am trying to keep a more organized space, which you wouldn't know it if you saw my vanity right now. You can even tell I have some junk hanging out back there, but part of what was back there were the last 10 palettes that I used. Well, the last 9. So I'm trying to make an effort at getting this stuff put away, not leaving it out for as long. So hopefully if I start ranking every 10, I can put them away faster, I can cycle through stuff faster, and I can get more content out faster, or at least time appropriately. All right, so number 10 is the Laura Geller The Delectables Modern Marvels. And I can't remember if in my eyeshadow palette declutter I said I was decluttering this or I wanted to try out the formula. Either way, it's nothing special to me. I don't know if it's all baked shadows that I don't really care about or if it's these baked shadows I don't care about, but yeah, I had trouble getting pigment out of some of these shades. I even thought the shade Ivory that looks like a pretty like kind of shiny sparkly shade, like it just nothing. It did nothing for me. Even using my finger versus brush versus a wet brush, like none of it. No thanks. It could just be my eyeballs, but it wasn't what I was looking for. So that's number 10. Number 9 is the Lethal Cosmetics Velvet Dusk Powder Press Palette. This is a good palette. I wouldn't say it's like the greatest palette in my collection. I love the color story. Especially this row and this row with like this shade and this shade. I could probably eliminate these shades and be just fine. Overall, I think I want to pull out the shades that I would like to keep from this palette, label the back, and get rid of the shades I don't want, and maybe use this palette as like a custom Lethal Cosmetics palette for myself. I feel like the shimmers in this palette aren't quite as great as they used to be, but I also feel like Lethal Cosmetics shimmers, at least this formula, was never the greatest to begin with. Like that's the purple shade in here, which is losing palettes. That is Hollow. I think that's what it is. No, Revolve. My bad. So that's Revolve. I don't think there's anything amazing about it. I could live without this orangey, rusty orange shade. How many ways can I say orange? And speaking of orange, the orange cat is here. He is messing with my tripod. So I feel like I could probably declutter the shimmers, maybe keep this one or this one. I don't know. I'm not sure. And I think I would like the shadows a lot better if I had them more in my singles collection to use. Yeah, that's just where I'm at right now. And then number 8, I feel like from number 8 on is either great or like amazing palettes. Thanks, Archie. And so number 8 is the Glamlight Hershey's Milk Chocolate Palette. There was nothing wrong with this palette. Again, these are good shadows. I did have a little bit of trouble building up some of the matte shades in here, but not too much. I really like this shimmer shade right here. It's just like a nice grungy brown, but it also has some sparkle to it. So I enjoyed using that. I do think the shimmers in here are dark. So if that's not your vibe, if you don't like dark shimmers, which I normally don't, but that shade is kind of an exception for me where I do like using a darker shimmer. These are bright, but they're still like darker in tone, if that makes sense. Like it's not a super light shade, and I don't really use like yellowish golds very much, so I don't know how much use I'll get out of this one. Archie! God, I swear, the orange is strong with that one. Archibald. Okay, and then number 8 is my Sydney Grace Temptalia palette. This is the On the Horizon in the light version. I don't think I've switched out any shades from this, but I think it's a beautiful color story. It's cooler in tone, which I tend to enjoy, like this shade and this one especially. I really like the shade Heart Dog. It's a pretty shimmer. Wow, what a weird swatch. What is wrong with my finger? Anyway, I'll swatch it in the most awkward place ever, obviously. So it's right there. That's the shade Heart Dog. I really like that one. Sydney Grace has a beautiful matte formula. I think they're shimmers. Most of them are more of this subtle, pretty metallic. I mean, that's beautiful, don't get me wrong. But, you know, when you've got some that are more sparkly, reflective, and then you have something like Cleona, you know, they're not like on the same, they're not the same style of shimmer. So just one thing to note, you know, if you're looking for Va Va Voom, I don't know if Sydney Grace is going to have the shimmers for you. Shoot, where are we at? 7? 10, 9, 8, 7, yeah. So number 6 is my NARS Climax palette. I think this is a beautiful everyday fall eyeshadow palette. And I mean, I like using it more than just in fall, but like I especially think about it in fall. This, this blue shade in the corner is really beautiful. Again, I'm going to put it in the most awkward place ever for myself, because why not? So I typically, again, don't like really dark shades, but apparently when they are cool tone, grungy, dark shimmers, it's my jam. All right, now we're getting on to like the really nice. So this is number 5, and this is my Tarte Honeysuckle palette. So this is a brand new palette to me, so I've only used it once, which means I haven't had a chance to test out all of the shades, but I did use most of them in my look, or swatch them to see if I wanted to use it. It's a super pretty basic B palette with a nice blush. You know, the packaging is super cute. I just like it a little bit more than the NARS palette because I tend to prefer Tarte's eyeshadow formula. And then number 4, oh my gosh, please don't fall. I would die. All right, number 4 is the Lorac Pro Palette, the Soleil. And this is just a very beautiful everyday neutral. I love the shade so much, Desert Rose. And let me see if I can put it in a less awkward place. Probably not, doing me. Like, look how much that sparkles. It's so, so pretty. The other shimmers in here are good. I don't think any of the other ones really have that formula. Maybe this one. Yeah, I think there's only one other shade that has that like really sparkly formula. But they're beautiful. I mean, they're beautiful metallics. So, and the mattes blend and build up beautifully. I can see myself, like I could use that every day for work and be fine. I wouldn't want to, because I have so many eyeshadow palettes, but I could if I needed to. I could definitely take that traveling too. I could see myself doing that. And then number 3 is my Cosmic Beauty Cool Trolls palette. I really need to get this a little bit cleaned up. It came in a little banged up from this black shade kind of exploding a little bit. Like, it didn't explode, but like it also wasn't in one piece. And I think I remember, was it Secret I really liked? Or maybe it was Slate. I think it was Slate. Yes, it was Slate. This is Secret. I mean, both beautiful. So there's Secret and Slate. I obviously have a type, grungy shimmers. If you're a grungy shimmer, you're gonna speak to me. Oh, and then the shade Gravitate is gorgeous as well. Like, it's, I think, the only multi-chrome in here, but it's really beautiful. And then coming at number 2 is actually the palette on my face. This is the Urban Decay Naked Metal Mania palette. I really like, I used this shade, all of these shades, and this one. So I didn't use these 3, the purple or the silver. I've swatched the silver before and it's really, really pretty. I just didn't want quite that shiny of a shade going on today. I will say it's not super opaque though. If you're looking for a very, very opaque silver, that's not gonna be it. The shade Seen is what is all over my lids, and it reminds me a little bit of that shade from the Cosmic Beauty palette, only it doesn't have sparkles in it like that one does. So there's the Urban Decay, still beautiful, and there's the Cosmic Beauty. And these shadows are just on another level. But I feel like this is a palette that I could get a lot of use out of, and I like the pops of color. Even if I'm not going to use that yellow, I still feel inspired. And by yellow, I mean yellow gold. And then finally, my number 1 palette for the last 10 palettes I used is the Cosmic Beauty Undergrowth palette. I really have been trying to hate this palette and not hype it up because I know that this is a brand that, for me at least, tended to cause a lot of FOMO, and I really wanted to purchase a palette, but I didn't love the color story of the Serenity. But then, like, I kept seeing people using it and talking about how amazing the quality was, and I really wanted to try it. So finally the Undergrowth palette came out, and it was a color story that really spoke to me. So set my clock for when it came out. I actually talked myself out of the palette at the time of release, went back a few hours later, realized they were still in stock, and felt like, okay, I let the initial like hype die down for me of like everyone hyping it up on launch day. So I'm okay going ahead and getting it. I still can't stop thinking about it. So these are a few of my favorite shimmers from the palette. Again, we have a running theme of my favorites. And so far, I haven't had issues with any of the mattes. I will say though, the shade Reeds pulls more green on my eyes than what I expected it to. I think because comparatively, you know, to all these other shades, it looks like a beige. It's actually a little bit green in the swatch. Not a lot. It's not heavily green. It's like a green tinge. So just noting that if you think, oh, I can use this all over as a lid setting shade, you can, but it is a little hint of a green. So if you're using it to set up here in the crease and you go all the way up to here, you're going to get a little bit of green tint to it. So let me know, what do you think? How do you think I did in my ranking? Do you agree? Do you disagree with any of these? Do you have any of these palettes? And if not, do you have any of these palettes on your wish list? Thank you so much for joining me. I've been having fun getting back into filming and talking makeup and beauty again. It really is something that brings me joy and that I feel like I've been missing out of my life. So I'm glad that I have come back and you guys have accepted me. If you like this video, I hope you'll give me a big thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more makeup and beauty content from me, hit that subscribe button. Oh no, how long have I had lipstick in my teeth? See, this is why I like a tinted balm. Oh, I think I also have salad in my teeth. Y'all, why didn't anyone tell me my dinner was still in my teeth? That's like 2 videos I filmed now. I ain't refilming them. If you like this video, I hope you'll give me a big thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more makeup and beauty content from me, hit that subscribe button and I'll have more coming at you. I hope wherever you are, you have a wonderful day. Bye.